Hey y'all, just welcome. It's Friday afternoon, and I'm just gonna find something to smoke. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm looking through the bag. I just don't want to crack any of the jars. KBB Jupiter slices. I am attempting to open this bag up. And smoke it out of the smallest pipe I've got. Finally got the stem unplugged last night. It took me over about an hour until James Stumpo um, told me to use a thing, and I'll show you what I used. Let me stick this down here real fast. I used a jumbo paper clip. So, these are Jupiter slices. I haven't never looked none of these up. Matter of fact, I can't find on tobaccoreviews.com. Very, very interesting. I'm going to take one of them out. Give me about a minute here. Give me about a second, guys. Let me go grab my other phone real quick and I'll look it up. Hold on. I'm back. I'm using my other phone, which got all my stuff up. And we are going to go to tobaccoreviews.com. I'm going to look this up because I never had this blend before. Never tried it. So it is Jupiter slices. And guess what? It doesn't show up on tobaccoreviews.com. So what I gotta do is, let's see here. So let's see what we can do with this. It's a red Virginia plug served in 2-ounce portions with optional jar label. Ken Byron Ventures Jupiter/Tobacco Reviews. I just happened to look it up. Okay, folks, here it is. This TobaccoReviews.com, and I got it right here. As you can tell, it is a straight Virginia. And it's a plug, packs in bulk. Strength is medium, flavor is non-detected, taste is medium to full, and the room nose pleasant. So, as of right now, it's 3:17 here in Ohio, and it's 73 degrees in Southwest Ohio. So it is a straight Virginia. So, that being said, I like straight Virginias, but we are going to add a little bit of Carter Hall to the Jupiter slices. So, that being said and done, pulling out the old tobacco tray. Let me move some stuff here real quick, like. Move that in my pocket. And we are live from Southwest Ohio. I ain't gonna give you the particular territories where I'm exactly at. But so we're gonna take a plug and back in my bag. Now, it's easy to tear up. And where the plug is, this is what it looks like, almost like a broken flake. Do apologize for that. I had a message. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to prepare it. I like it in chunks like that. As you can tell, broken up. I don't know if you can be able to see it or not. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little touch of Carter Hall light. Maybe another little pinch. That's it. Now, let's find a pipe to smoke it in. Matter of fact, I got my General close to me. Mix this up just a hair, and we're going to fill this bowl with it. Hey, Paul. How you doing, brother? Going to smoke some Jupiter slices for the first time. It's a straight Virginia, so I'll mix a little bit of Carter Hall with it. Called straight Virginia. Certain Virginias, straight Virginias, depends on who's the maker of it. Gives me heartburn, and it just gives a bad taste in my mouth. So And I'm smoking in the journal today. I know I have not made my Friday Trevi. It's been about 2 days for me, Paul. About 2 days for me. So, just trying to get it. My sister passed away, and yesterday my other sister, second to the oldest sister, passed away yesterday, and it's been, yeah. Okay, pipes loaded. And for the time being, I do got my 1 jar. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it, put this in there. Thanks, brother. So now I got this. Start my whole. Hey, Skip. How you doing, brother? Drinking the Dr. Pepper. Pulled out the big corn cob today, and here is the smallest pipe that I own. This here, the only thing that's on this pipe is a 424, a Porter Briar. That up here says Spain. That's the only thing this pipe says. If you remember back in maybe the 30s and 40s, there's a lot of guys that had these because tobacco was expensive. But I pulled out the big one today. As a matter of fact, that pipe was given to me. Oh, how'd you manage to do that, Skip? That's right, Paul. That is absolutely right. Oh, by the way, Skip, KBV Jupiter slices with some Carter Hall mixed in it. Ah, hey, I've been there and done that. Yeah, I know how it feels when you bite your tongue the wrong way and it hurts. Then you go try to smoke a pipe on top of it, it's going to make it even worse. This is the second time me smoking this pipe within 2 days. Already haven't smoked this much. This here is most likely one of my so-called blend tester. Besides this one, if I'm unfamiliar with the blend, and if I'm unfamiliar with the blend, I'm really not sure about. I was smoking the cob There you go, Skip. There you go. Either that or whiskey. If many of you don't know what this pipe is, this is the general. And on the bottom is the first general I ever seen. It's got a hardwood plug on the bottom of it. And you think it's heavy to clench? It really ain't. Because usually the straight Virginia usually gives me a tongue bite. So I gotta take this in here nice, kind of nice and slow. I'm trying to find another one of my pipes. It's got my softy bit on it. But I don't feel like getting up. I do have another carb on standby, of course. Paul's out of work. Out of work. I'm about to do for a drink. Got some in there. Take some of that vodka, smear it off vodka. I had to laugh about that. A friend of mine, well, my sister, basically, she's like a sister anyways. We went to the liquor store. Well, anyways. She knows what I drink. She knows I love my Fireball. Well, she says, well, but she asked first before she done it. She says, can we change up? Well, y'all, what do you want? Well, she got this smeared off vodka. She was going to pay for it, but I paid for it. And I was laughing all the way up there to the counter. Hey, Mark. Long time, long see. Hey, sorry I missed your call, brother. I just have so much going on. So much. But anyways, got here. She got looking at that bottle. Well, that ain't too bad there, Skip. I mean, oh man, yeah, I seen your video, Mark. I watched it here, I think yesterday. I do believe. Well, she looked at the bottle and she says, "Oh my God!" I said, "What?" It says 90 proof. She says, "Was that the reason why you was laughing about it, right?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You wanted it." At the same time, I had my original Bud Ice, Tall Boys. Put it this way, she don't have one glass. I drank about two of them. Two big tall glasses of it. Pop, Dr. Pepper in it. She's got a whole bottle of Smirnoff screwdriver sitting in there, and she bought two of them. She don't drink. John, how you doing, brother? Hey, John. For those of you who just came in, I'm smoking the General, by the way, with some KBV Jupiter Slice, which is straight Virginia. But I put some Carter Hall with it. By the way. Hey, John. How you been? Check out this little guy. Some of you just came in. Only things marked on there is a Ford 24 on this side, imported Briar on this side, and the word Spain on the bit. That's the only thing I know. That's it. Oh, excuse me. Hey, John, take you a shot. Get you a shot glass. Get you some honey with your favorite whiskey. I don't care if it's Jim Beam, Jack Daniels. Put some honey in there, mix it together, drink it. Oh, cool. That's the best way to do it, John. That's the best way to cure it. That's the reason why I drink a lot of whiskeys. That avoids me from getting sick every day. Smoking the General today. What the heck's of it? Nobody here at the place, peace and quiet. Nobody to bother you, nobody to bug you. You can sit outside. You're so quiet outside, you can hear a cat hiss from across the road. Seriously. Speaking of outside, geez, John. Tea, honey, rest, Ricola, and Dayquil. Back in the day when I was growing up, when I got sick, my dad, well, my mom kind of threw the fit anyways. My dad gave me a shot of whiskey with honey in it. My mom says, now, Clarence, now, that's gonna. I tell you what, though. Here the other day I was sitting outside and I counted eight vultures, buzzards, 8 of them out here in the side yard. 8 of them. I walked in and asked, I said, did somebody die out here somewhere? They said, no, why? I said, I just got down counting 8 buzzards out here. Crazy. Yeah. Anytime, John. Hey, Sharon. How you doing? Welcome in. I did a live last night, and I had the most I ever had was 10 people in my live last night. Yes, ma'am. All is well here. The Jupiter Slices is a straight Virginia. There's no casings to it. There's no toppings to it. There's nothing to it. It's just like a straight Virginia. Oh wow, Skip. Yes, sir, John. I tell you what, since I've been here, God's all goodness. Since I've been here, I feel 10 times better. I don't got the stress. I don't got the, you get too much tension, you know what I mean? You tighten up, because you're always afraid something's going to, But now I'm more relaxed, stress-free. I don't have to jump up every 5 minutes. I just sleep in. I tell you what, I got more sleep within the past week than I did probably about a year and a half, 2 years. Nobody bothers me. Well, of course, I gave him fair warning. So I used to tell him, you wake me up. Yes, sir, John. Because I forewarned him. I said, don't ever wake me up unless it's an emergency. Because you wake me up and it's not important or it is an emergency. Oh, yeah. My worst shot's going to come out on that one. Just like Barbie. She woke up here the other morning, had to go to the hospital because she's having severe chest pains. And she had to take a nitro pill. That's what she's got because of her heart. And I said, why didn't you wake me up and let me know what was going on? Why? Why? I said, now that there's important. Now that there's serious. Now you could, I said, now what would happen if you would have actually had an actual heart attack here and not me knowing it? And he don't know how to do CPR. And I do. So you need to learn something like that. You better pick me up. John from All Brought Up. I've not smoked a pipe in 2 days. I know you're really sick. Really sick. One of these days, guys, I'm going to take time to sit down, but I ain't going to do it right off bat. But I'll sit down and I'll take time and teach you guys some sign language. And not the type of sign language y'all are thinking now. I had taken in school. Of course, I got you guys up on the big screen. Pinky's up, John. Pinky's up. Wait a minute. I gotta do this right. Double pinky. That bowl is getting kind of hot. As you can tell, I already got burn marks on top of it. You're very welcome, John. Anytime, brother. Oh, by the way, John, how's Miss All Brought Up done? Of course, I got you guys up on the big screen so I can see the comments instead of looking down here. So that's the reason why you probably see when you see my head turn. Oh no, not Miss All Brought Up. I tell you what, guys, I'm going to say this, and I'll probably get the heat over this, but now, speaking all about this sickness, this virus crap, with this vaccination crap, is full crap. Yeah, I said it. And I hate to say it, it ain't worth getting. Oh, cool, John. I hope you guys feel a whole lot better by tomorrow. Hopefully by Sunday. But the reason why I say this, well, they say get vaccinated, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. I'm going to tell you something. I have two friends of mine got vaccinated. First shot and second shot. You know they still come down with the virus about a month and a half later. Actually, three people that I know. A husband, wife, I know both of them, and another party. And I tell you the best medicine. Yeah, I had it back in December, January. But here's the best thing that helped me. And I'm not vaccinated. I refuse to take that shot. Drink plenty of alcohol. Drinking some whiskey. Number one. Yeah. Knock on wood. They cannot force you to wear a mask. They can say, well, the governor, like here in the high. Okay? He can mandate it. But you can't wear it. He can't force you to wear it. Why? Because it's not signed into law. Now, if it's an executive order that everybody in the state of Ohio, all 88 counties, comes executive order, then everybody's got to wear one. But until then, they can mandate it. There you go, John. There's my point. There's my point. It's like the sheep led to the slaughterhouse. Got everybody believing it. It's getting to the point now that I ain't gonna mention his name anyways. I ain't going to, but his days are come to a halt. See now, can't talk right, can't put two words together. It's coming. If they would have still kept the other guy in there, we would have been just fine. Because the old boy's in there now, he done sold his soul to the devil. Every once in a while, I tell you what happened to me here the other day, guys. Get this. I hate to say it like this, but I done pissed off a liberal here the other day. Didn't have to say word. Didn't have to say a word. I was over Walmart. And I have my Trump 2024 hat on. And of course I knew this guy anyways, and he's a big time liberal. Come up to me and he says, hey. I said, what? He said, he's got that hat on, right? Looked up and I said, yeah, what about it? He says, you need to put Joe Biden's hat on, take that trashy hat off, and looked at him. I said, you're going to tell me that I got to take this hat off and support Joe Biden. So have you ever, I said, man, you've done lost your ever-loving mind, man. So what's wrong with you? I said, tell me one thing Joe Biden's done for this country, and I said, I'll stand here for the next 2 hours, maybe 3, and tell you what Trump done. And I said, by the way, Trump done more in 4 years than the rest of these guys did in 8 years. And I said, another thing too. I said, Trump's done more in 4 years than Joe Biden's did in the last 47, 50 years he's been in office. Name one thing that man's ever done for this country. I said, man, don't get me started. Mm. I said, besides him, and I said, there's about 3 others needs to be gone. I said, let me put it to you this way. I said, if Trump got reelected and he's in there now, I said, I'll guarantee there'll be like 3 top people that's going to be. I said, he would already done drained the swamp completely. I said, he was almost there. I said, people don't like Trump because he's an outsider. He's never been in politics. But if you go back to around about 1988 or 89, yes, if you go back to about 88, 89, and when Donald Trump was on the talk show host, look it up here on YouTube. He was teasing about running for the presidency back in 88, 89. This is about the time about re-election. This is when Ronald Reagan was in office. Quote and unquote, this is what Trump says. He says, not right now. But he says, when I do run, he says, I'll go Republican. He says, I'll go as Republican. He says, the people will vote for me and I will win the election. Now think about it. That's 30-some years later. Trump did exactly what he said he was going to do. And guess what? He done it. Like on here on my channel, it's a free ball game. Talk about anything and everything in between. I don't hold nothing back. And then I have a guy over here that he's a big time Democrat. But he knows better not to argue with me. Because I'll win. People today, but where's all the Biden supporters at? That's my question. Here's my question to you guys. And I don't talk too much about politics. And I don't on my channel. Usually I talk to pops, whatever else. But my question is, where are all the Biden supporters at? How's come they not here praising him? How's come they not here saying, oh, he's doing a good job, all this, that, and the other? Where's all the supporters? Only thing I'm hearing is crickets. In my opinion. And I want somebody to explain to me. And I've studied the constitutional law and all that, done it. How can you impeach a president when he's already out of office for him not to run again? You can't. You can't do it. There's no way. But try. Think about it. Yes, I got my conspiracy theories, I got my artificial theories, I've got my theories, my opinions, and all that, but because I've always believed everybody's entitled to their own opinions on whatever it is. Yeah, we may agree, disagree, but eventually we're going to agree on something, down the line. People today just don't understand. I got thinking about here the other day about these kids, this new generation of kids today. Heck, when I was growing up, I didn't have all this stuff what they had. Yeah, I grew up on a farm, but you take these kids today on the farm nowadays. Okay, you take a farm nowadays. Where when I was growing up, when I was working on the farm, we didn't have all this GPS satellite crap and tractors. We didn't have it. We went out there and actually worked from sun up till sundown, and then sometimes throughout the night, especially sitting in the combines. You too, brother. Thanks for stopping in, Mark. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, Pipes and Cigars, how you doing, brother? And we had to sit there and concentrate on what we was doing. But nowadays these kids working the farms, they've got it made. Don't think they got to do sit up in the tractor and program their field in. Then only thing they got to do is make one trip around that field. And the only thing they got to do is press that one button, and the only thing they got to do is sit back and let the tractor do itself. Steer itself, do everything. The only thing you control is what's back there behind you. It could be the planter. It could be the disc. That's it. The tractor does the rest. Now, but here's my question, though. Now, what would happen if that all, in your middle of planting, if you're in the middle of planting, what happens if that goes out? Then what are you going to do? Then you mess, and then all of a sudden it starts messing all up. Mess the field up. Gotta stop and think, a lot of that costs money. People think, oh, that stuff's cheap, the fertilizer's cheap, the seed's cheap. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. And I'll tell you another guy who'll agree with me on here will be John. And then if your equipment breaks down, that's more money coming out of your pocket. And then I'll give you a prime example. A friend of mine, bless him, I worked their farm, but he bought him a brand new planter. Yes, sir. Pipe cigars. All well here. He went clear to London, Ohio to get this brand new planter. I think it's a 10 or 12 row planter. Brand spanking new. Never knew it touched a field. Any field. He's the first one to have this. Bought straight out. Okay. Loads his fertilizer in, his seed in. Because if you ever look on the planter, and for some of you non-farmers out there, for some of you non-farmers, don't know what I'm talking about, I know John does. There's like 2 boxes, like there'll be 2 boxes here, 2 boxes here, on down. Well, one box is for your seed and the other box is for your fertilizer. I was out there when this happened because I was helping him load up. And the only thing I had to do, because he had his truck and his hay wagon loaded with the bags of corn, seed corn, and the fertilizer. The thing I had to do was drive his truck down so he didn't have to come all the way up to the house. We'll be right there. The thing he's got to do is pull up, our load, he's back out in the field. But anyways, load everything up. Next thing you know, he started having problems with it. Never even got to the field yet. Because we always check everything and make sure everything's properly working. Well, when he loaded the sides down, it wasn't, and he activated, he turned the PTO on. Well, when he activated it, it wasn't spitting out like a ship because we always check. Wasn't spitting out. And then he started having trouble with the sides coming up. Brand new planter now. So he had to send that off to London. Have them come. Well, as a matter of fact, they came down about 2 days later, and then they had to turn around and take it up there so they could fix it. That's another 3-day job. So he's losing time. A planting. Each day is a loss for him. Finally got it back. He's got a 115-acre farm on one end. He's got 117 acres on his dairy farm. Gets halfway done, breaks down on him again. So he pulls up. Then he tells Jeff got there, Mark. Says, Mark right here. He says, go get he's unhooked, go up to the house. He says, listen, and he told me, he says, listen to me. He says, I'm going to tell you exactly where it's at. Go up to the barn. He says, get a stake and get a red flag, like a red flag piece of tape. He says, go up to the house and tell so-and-so, his wife, to get a staple gun and put a couple staples in that stake. So, okay, so I went up to the house and told her what happened. And I told her that he wants me to mark where he needs to start at. And she says it broke down again. And I said, yeah. And I said right now he's not even halfway down with the field yet. And she says, is he up front or the back part? I said, he's in the back part. And I said, he ain't even halfway across to the road yet. She says, yes, sir. You got that right, John. Been there and done that. So you take what's John's, if you guys don't know what John's saying, so you take 4,400 and you times that by 7. Or you can, so if you got 2 tractors, okay, that's $2,200 for each fuel up. For each fuel up. Okay. And it depends on how many acres you got. The biggest acre I've ever done, the biggest I ever done was 600. It's the biggest I've done. Now, if you take excuse me. Give me a second here, y'all. I don't think I got it on this phone here, but you're looking at roughly, say, 7,328. I'm just trying to figure off the top of my head, but so you figure that up. If he does that every day, figure that up every day. You take $4,400, you times that by 7. It'll tell you how much fuel it takes for 2 tractors. And it depends on what type of tractor you got. Think about it. Yep. And see, the nice thing, my friend, they used to have, it was on their, not on their regular farm, but on their dairy farm, they used to have a, like a gas pump. You know what I'm talking about? Like you go pump gas at your, yes, that's why I'm saying, John, you times that by 7, it'll give you the actual price, how much it costs, for you guys that don't understand it. And they had the rig gas pump like you would to go pump gas in your car at a gas station. Well, they had the big tank. I've seen it. I mean, it's a big tank. Well, they fill that up like maybe every 4 or 5 months. Just depends on how much fuel that they was using. Because the reason why they did that is because, you know, it helped them on the farm because they didn't have to go curb town to get gas, like for the truck or for the tractors and stuff like that. Be right there on the farm. One thing they got to do is pull that pump over, and start pumping the gas. Well, it got to the point to where they was people start stealing the gas. They couldn't figure out because every so often they got, you know, them yardsticks that these guys use when they take the fuel to the gas station. Well, they got these big yardsticks. It's numbered. Well, they stick that down in there and they pull it out. When they pull it out, they'll tell them how much fuel is left in the tank. And that's kind of lets them know when they need to start refueling that back up. Well, they couldn't figure out why so much fuel was going out. There was more fuel going out than this fuel coming in. Because the only thing he was using for his truck, his Deutz, his John Deere, and he had another tractor. Yes, John. That's how much they were spending. Just in fuel for the tank. So it got so bad to where people's going out there and stealing their gas, but they wait till the middle of the night because the reason why they did that is because he had his cattle, and they knew what time he went over and fed, how long he stayed, and what time he left. So that wasn't his routine. So they finally got to the point to where they just start. What they did was they start filling their vehicles up with it and start filling all the tractors they had up. He told his boy come out. His boy come over and fill his truck up. Told his wife to come over and fill her vehicle up with gas. And by the time they got done, they had 2 5-gallon gas jugs. Total 10 gallons of gas left over. So he filled them up. And he started putting over the dairy barns. He took over to the house. And he hit him. And then he let everything evaporate. First, he left everything open. He waited about a week. And then he went in there and had all that. What he did was he had the gas pump tore out, and then they ripped up the, they didn't take the actual fuel tank out from the ground. What they did was they actually ripped it open, and they just filled that sucker plumb full of freaking dirt and gravel. Filled it up. And they covered it up. Everything. Where the gas pump was and everything, they covered it up because they got tired of putting more money. It was costing them more and fuel than actually lifting it up. But it's a lot of expense to run a farm. And I tell you how my dad used to do it. He used to tell the guys. And we went out on a 600-acre farm. And we had 2 combines running with 4 trucks. Four semis, trailers. 2 for him and 2 for me. Reason why, so we can keep it going. So by the time this guy gets filled, he's going to unload just right down the road. I got another guy right up beside of me. So he told these guys one day, he says, I'm going to tell you something. And we was helping this other guy out. He told him straight up. He says the first time, and he even told the guy that owned the farm, he told him, he said, I'm going to tell you something. First time that these guys don't come up beside of me when I pull my auger out. They're not there for me to unload, he says, what I'm going to do. He says, I'll pull my auger back. He says, I'll radio my son, and if he's full, he says, we're gonna pull out. He says, well, what about the corn up in the hopper? He says, well, that's not my problem. He says, first time they ever do it. He says, we're pulling. He says, he says, come on, man. He says, we got 1,000 acres sitting down here that's ours that we need to get done, and we're running behind on it because we're trying to help you. Because your equipment's broke down. So that guy told the 4 drivers, he says, you guys better be right up on them. He says, you better be awful mighty close to these guys, because as he says, if our comes out, he says, you better be right up beside of him. Both of them. Because if not, they're going to pull out my corn and I'm going to lose money. I didn't play when it comes down to it because it was making it hard on us. And then by the time we get done, well, we got his done. And here we are. We're running behind on ours. So here we are. We'll drive the equipment home. It'll be like 2 or 3 o'clock in 4 o'clock in the morning. Go home. We're done with him. We'll go home, get 2 or 3 hours worth of sleep. Get up long enough to eat breakfast. Use the bathroom and stuff, and eat breakfast. Make sure that we don't have to use the bathroom again or whatever. And then we're hitting the field. We're hitting the field around by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we're out there from 7, 8 o'clock in the morning till about noon, 1 o'clock. And then we'll stop long enough to have lunch. If I'm lucky. If you're lucky. There's been days that we did stop unless we had to use the bathroom or something. Shoot, I used to carry a cord. There's one around here close. Yeah, there's one over here, but it's a big one. I used to carry a cord, and I'll put some ice in there with some pop, tea, water. Of course, I'll have about 4 or 5 cans of chew on me. And the only time that I ever stopped is if I had to take a leak. My dad used to get so mad at me because he'll say, and when we had a couple guys helping us, there'll be, one guy for him, one guy for me, but we had grain cars big enough to where it can hold 30, 40,000 bushels, we may make about 15, 20 swaps or 25 swaps and fill that grain cart up. And he'll go unload. But that gives us time too to get our hopper full. But it usually don't take long. My dad used to get so mad at me, he'll come over with the radio because we had 2-way radios put in all the equipment. Just in case if something would happen or there's something caught fire or something, we can get on there and say, hey, the header caught fire or, the gear system caught fire or whatever. He'll get on there, Jeff, he says, come on, let's go get something to eat. I said, I'm not stopping. He said, now come on, Jeff. I said, I'm not stopping. I said, I want to get this done and over with. I said, I don't want to be out here in the daggone field half the freaking night. I said, Dad, I'm tired. It is tiring. I said, Dad, I'm going to, and this be like 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and I said, Dad, I said, I can't hardly keep my eyes opened up. I said, it's got to get done. He said, well, you need to come up here and do. I said, yeah. I keep on rolling. And then I can, the guys we hire, because we always sometimes hire some help if we need extra help. And we always pay them by the hour. Then I'm sitting here with the Harper full, and I'm thinking, where's the driver? I get on there and I radio. No answer. So I'm sitting here, okay, I'm miling. I'm wasting fuel. I'm miling. No grain cart. No nothing. Nobody's not answering. Longer I'm sitting in the mirror, I'm getting. Alright. So I drive up to the house, up to the barns, and there sits the tractor and the grain cart. So I just pull right up to it and I unload right there. And after I get done unloading, then I'll take out over there and then I'll unload it. Then I'm going to the house. Mine. Walk in, I looked down and I said, "Where's the guys at?" He says, "I don't know." He says, "Are there a few?" I said, "No." I said, "Dad," I sit out there in the middle of the field for almost 15 minutes. I said, "I was been radioing," and I said, "Nobody's not responding." I said, "I sit up there idling, wasting fuel for 15 minutes." He says, "Do what?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Dad," I said, "I just come right up here and unloaded the grain cart, unloaded that, and I took the tractor, went over, and I unloaded it up in the bins." He said, "Seriously?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Once you sit down there, Dad," I said, "I'm too daggone mad to eat." He says, "Just sit down, chill out, take a break." He says, "Take an hour break." He says, "I'll find out." He says, "Go and eat, sit down and eat, and tell your mom what you want." I said, "Did you already fix supper?" I said, "There's no sense in, fixing anything else. If you already done fixed supper, there's no sense in fixing extra." You know what I'm saying? And I asked Mom, I was sitting there for a minute, resting my feet, and I said, "Mom, what you fix?" "Well, I fixed some chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy, and corn, and stuff like that." She said, "I'll get you a plate." I said, "No," I said, "I'll get it." I said, "So now, you've been working in the kitchen." And I said, "There's no sense in you." I said, "Sit down, take a break, Mom." You know? Next thing you know, I'm in the middle of eating. I can hear my dad outside. I mean, door opened up and everything. I can hear him out there cuss this guy out. And he's ripping him from one downside to the other, telling him, Jeff's been out there for 15 blanking minutes, wasting fuel, wasting my gas and stuff, and where was you at? Oh, and then I heard him. He kind of raised his voice. So I was on break like everybody else was. He says, "No." He says, "You don't stop until he stops." You don't stop until he stops our combine. And then he tells you he's gonna get him something to eat, and you go get something to eat. You don't stop. He says, "Now," he says, "I'm gonna tell you." He says, "It's just your first warning." He says, "Next time it happens, I'm firing you." He says, "You don't stop until he stops." He says, "Since you're doing that," he says, "I'm heading back out to the field. Guess what you're gonna be doing?" He says, "You're gonna get right up in that tractor where he parked it. You're gonna come right there with me." The other guy that was working with my dad, bless his heart, he told me, he says, "Hey, since you stop with me," he says, "guess what?" He says, "You're gonna work with Jeff." He says, "By the way," he says, "take an additional hour break." He says, "Have you ate anything yet?" And he says, "No." He says, "Get your butt in that house." So he says, "Well, give me a minute." So he walked up in the house and he told my mom, he says, "Margaret, fix this gentleman." He says, "Fix so-and-so something to eat." He says, "He's going to take an hour break. Run on with Jeff." So I told him, "Well, sit down." He got real nervous. He looks at me and he says, "I'm kind of nervous." I said, "What are you nervous about?" He said, "Well, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job." "Lose your job over what?" well, your dad told me to take an additional hour break. He says, would that affect me? I said, no, it won't affect you. I said, if he told you to take an additional hour break, take an additional hour break. You're sitting here with me, ain't you? I said, well, don't stress him. Don't stress it. I said, you ain't going to lose your job. He's just trying to help you out. I got something here, y'all. But I said, he just don't like the fact that you just come up here and not come back out in the middle of the field and assume that it's okay if he takes a break, I'm going to take a break type. I said, and I told myself, I leaned up, I said, I'm going to tell you something. I said, we're almost done. I said, probably another 3.5, 4 hours. I said, we'll be done with this, I promise. And I said, and that's why you can, I even told him, I said, I don't even talk to Dad about giving you an extra bonus. Because he did everything he was supposed to do. So we got all done. Took the last load in. Me and Dad we was so tired that we didn't even fool with cleaning the combines. We was going to wait till the next day or so, day or two. We was tired. So I told I'll wait till the next day to say anything to my dad about it. Because my dad would say, yeah, and he'll brush it off. So the next day, got up, got dressed, about 5:30 in the morning. Went down, got breakfast, and I'm sitting there, and I said, Dad, that guy was working with me there last night. He says, yeah. I said, can we give him an extra bonus on his paycheck? He sat there for a minute, and I said, he kind of looked at me all funny. I said, well, he did everything he was supposed to do, and I said he was a little worried that he was going to lose his job. And I said he was a little worried that he was going to fire him. Because you told him to take an extra hour. I said, Dad, he was so nervous he couldn't hardly sit there and eat. So we went out there and found him. Dad says, what? He said, I heard you was awful nervous last night. He says, couldn't hardly eat anything. He says, why? Put his head down. He says, well, Mr. Howland, he says, well, I thought I was going to lose my job. Lose your job over what? Because I told you to take an extra hour? He's doing the job right and he's working with him? He said, you ain't going to lose your job. He says, I tell you what I'm going to do for you. He says, I'm going to give you an extra bonus. And Dad paid him close to $1,000, but Dad gave him an additional $500. And he says, and everything too, he says, how would you like to work around here between part-time and full-time? He says, what do you say? He says, I'll make sure you get paid good. He says, if you happen to get hurt, he says, I'll make sure you're taken care of. He says, you'll get 3 meals a day. He says, I'll supply all what you want, water, pop, anything like that. But he says, the only thing I ask, he says, no alcohol. He says, now you can do that on your own time when you're all on your off time, but not while you're on the job. So that's the only thing I ask. He says, now I want you to, he says, before you answer me, so I want you to think about it. Because this is a year-round job. That means you work in the wintertime, rain, snow, sleet, and hail. You know, he says, we work around the clock. And he says, we do, you know, if one of our cows are having the calf, or one of the cows is down, we got to go out there. It doesn't make a difference if it's hot, cold, whatever. Whoop. Sorry about that, guys. I'm going to have to end this live stream, guys. I'm going to have to charge my phone up. So, I'll be back on here later on this evening. This is the High Piper. Keep him lit, keep the embers burning, and y'all take care out there.